Yes, thank you.
Okay, cool, brother.
How have you been? What's happening?
Yeah, good, good. All very good. Lockdown here in South Africa, but we now having a varied or different level releasing of the lockdown. So it
Okay,
was
that's
the
nice.
most severe, and hopefully now it gets a little bit less restrictive. So we can get out, we can go and buy food and other necessities, and they're letting
Wow.
us go exercise, get outside from
Mm.
6 a.m. to 9 a.m. But unfortunately, Cape Town is still dark until 7:30, so we can only leave home at about 8 a.m. So we quickly 1 hour get as much time outside as possible, and then it's back inside the house.
And how's the
And
weather
you?
like in Cape Town? It's good. It's been
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It's our weather now is getting a little bit colder. We it's now our winter season is coming, so usually about middle of May, end of May, we start getting the first cold fronts because
Mm.
Cape Town being so far south, we the first landmass that any storms that come from Antarctica, we're the first
Yeah.
landmass that hits. So it comes cold. Not daily cold, not freezing, biting cold, but usually wet and cold. So more like UK,
Delhi's
like a
UK.
UK
Yeah.
summer. Yeah, like a UK summer.
And how's everything around the family? I've been seeing a lot of videos. You've been looking after the family, taking them to the park, doing a lot of good exercise, doing a lot of yoga.
Yeah, we're trying to. I think it's, for the small ones especially, this is very tough because even though there's online school, online learning has started for them, they're not interested.
Hmm.
They're three. India's 5 years old. Nathan is 3.
Hmm.
So for them, they want to be and see the teacher. They want to sit on teacher's lap. They want to sit with their friends. So they're not very good with online learning. The older boys, who are 13 and 10, they pretty much from now 8:45 in the morning until 1:30 in the afternoon. They're pretty much online for most of
Okay.
that time. So yeah, so they've got accustomed to it. And even the older boy, he's saying, well, it's maybe not a bad thing, especially they're talking about in South Africa getting us back to school, but
Hmm.
on the 1st of June with very strict social distancing. So all the kids have to wear masks, all the kids have to stay at their own desk. There's no play and most of the kids, they want to go to school to play. They're not going to go to
Yeah, that's
school to
true.
work
Yeah, we
in
all
South
need to do
Africa.
that. With the social distancing in India also, they all are planning to do that. Hopefully everything get well soon and we can all send our kids to the school. Right now it's a bit challenging with the
Yeah,
social distancing and everything kind of challenging for all of us. So hopefully things
yeah.
will get better. Then we can all go to the gym, go to the ground, do what we have to do.
What do we do? Yeah, play some cricket sometime.
Yeah.
That's
And I need
definitely
to
on the.
ask you which
Yes.
you've been to a lot of countries and you made your name your daughter name India. So tell me about it. How does
Well,
it
I
feel?
think, it's especially for me in India as a cricket player. As a cricket player, when you travel, you don't
Brian
really see the
Brian
country.
Brian Lara says
Brian,
hi.
Brian Laura, that old man. Yeah, I
Legend.
saw your I
Good
saw
man.
your post with the legend. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Good
And
man.
when you travel as a cricket player, unfortunately, you fly over the country, you see the airport, you see the ground, and
Mhm.
that's it. You see the hotel. So since
Mhm.
I've retired from playing and have
Mhm.
worked IPL, 9 seasons in India, well, one was in South Africa, so 8 seasons in India. I've certainly made it my mission to see as much of India as possible, and the only way you can do that is on two wheels
Yeah.
because I borrow an infield wherever I go because otherwise you're on the team bus, you so much security at the
Yeah.
hotels, they close off the hotels, so you never actually get to experience any of the country. So
That's so true.
for all the IPLs, whatever city we're in, I always just phone up the infield guys and say, please, can you spare me a bike for the next 3 days and maybe send me some guys who will take me, Chennai, we go on ECR, we go driving down, we go have
Yeah.
a breakfast somewhere, some eating, and we come back. In Rajasthan, the same thing from
Mhm.
Jaipur, out we would go. So in India, I grew up, Suresh, I grew up in South Africa, in apartheid
Mhm.
South Africa, which meant people of color, white people were the government, minority,
Mhm.
and maybe only 5% of the whole population. And then the rest of the population, they kept apart from white people. So no white kids at my school, no white kids
Oh.
allowed on the beach down the road. So that's what apartheid was all about. So you only got to play with and against and live next to people who thought like the same as you, who looked the same as you. So no diversity in South Africa that we ever experienced. So for
Yeah.
me, it's been a huge learning curve.
Mm.
There's such diversity in India, not
Yeah.
just from state to state, but even within
Mm.
states, almost
Yeah.
different ways of preparing food, almost different dialects in different parts of the state. So for me, it's been a real learning experience because I've found that the more I learn about other people, the more I've learned about myself. So
Yeah.
if I'm in India, I grow as a person. I certainly do. And naming my daughter India, my wife's a yoga teacher. She
Oh wow.
also she practices or follows Vedanta philosophy. So
Hmm.
for her, India was a very spiritual place that she
Yeah.
hadn't been to. So we've been to Rishikesh a few times. She's been on her
That's a
own with the
beautiful
two
place.
babies.
Yeah.
Really stunning.
So
But
I
she
have a lot
had
of question
she
for you. Oh,
yes,
yeah. Please,
yeah,
please.
please.
Continue.
No, no, after you.
So how do you compare the fielding side in 1990s and now
Around the world, in India, South Africa, where I
around
think
the world?
around the world. The interesting thing is, I, I burst onto the scene literally in 1992 Cricket World
Hmm.
Cup, and I think my cricketing hero was Peter Kirsten because he was a middle order batsman, also very risky. But there was no, because of during apartheid, there was nothing on television. So no South African team to play for because there was sport and economic
Hmm.
sanctions against South Africa. So we as a country had no national team. So from that point of view, it's always been a case of, sorry, I'm just check my Wi-Fi quickly. You can give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Suresh,
All good? Can you hear me?
you can hear me? Yeah,
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 yeah.
sorry. Yeah, so, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Peter Kirsten was my cricketing hero, and he, oh, good.
Yes, I'm hearing you. I can hear you.
Okay. So 1990s, I think fielding wasn't even a big part of the game. I mean, there wasn't much limited overs cricket played. It was mainly Test cricket. And I know Dean Jones
Hmm.
from the Australian team because Melbourne was one of the biggest grounds in the world. I mean, it had a massive outfield. And Dean Jones, one of the few players that could
Hmm.
throw the ball from the boundary back to the wicketkeeper. And we as a South African team in that 92 World Cup, we had a plan, always have a relay throw because you'll never reach. Kepler
Yeah.
Wessels had played for Australia. So, many of the players, no one really threw very well. But as a
Hmm.
South African team, we just said in 92 with no international experience, we can
Hmm.
still be the fittest team and the best fielding team. So everybody worked on their fielding. So the difference, I think, now between the 90s and
Yeah.
what you see now was that
Yeah.
throughout the 90s, every team had one or two good fielders, and
Yeah.
every country had one or two
Yeah.
decent
True.
fielders.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, seven or eight of them, not very athletic. So that's
Hmm.
been the key difference is the fitness levels now that you see. So from a fielding point of view, if you can't get to the ball, you can't stop it, you
You
can't
can't get
catch it.
absolutely spot
So,
on.
and I think that's a difference now. And I think it's not just IPL, it's not just T20 cricket where we've
Yeah.
seen the importance. If Virat Kohli's batting in a test match, you don't want to give him two chances. One's enough
Yeah.
because he's gonna
So
he's gonna bat and bat
yeah.
and bat forever.
For
So catching
4 days.
catching
Yeah.
and catching in test cricket is just as important. So I think fielding
Exactly.
wise, but the levels of athleticism, the athletes that who are now playing cricket, makes a big difference. So fielding has changed, and not just because of me. I think people became aware of it, but it took maybe 8 years or 10 years before more people decided, okay,
Yeah.
it's an important part of the game. And if there are two players and the
Hmm.
selectors can't decide who to choose, it's
Definitely.
often the
Yeah.
the guy who can add more value in the field who will get selected. So
Yeah.
I think the players have identified that too, and that they appreciate that it's now the third sort of department of the game. It's not just batting and bowling; it's also fielding. So that's the big difference. The athletic ability of the players has certainly changed.
Because the demand of the game also have been changed. Like you said, you can do the batting, you can do the bowling, but fielding is all about enjoyment. What I've seen you
Yeah,
on the field, what I've seen a play like Yuvraj and Caf. So I think when you enjoy the game, you can be a brilliant fielder. That's what I believe. You need to enjoy each and every ball. You need to enjoy each and every the quality of the spinner or the fast bowler. You just need to keep moving. keep supporting the bowler, keep backing up. That's a more give you the mental toughness. That's all the fielding is all about. What I've seen in Indian ground is a bit difficult, like you said. So when someone die, it'll stay. The pain stays till the next game. So we really need to work hard and see the situation, which ground we are playing. In South, they have a lot of humidity. When you come to North, they have a lot of hardness. When you go in West, they have a lot of red soil. So every ground has a different challenge. So what I've learned, you just need to go fully and see what the result later. So I don't get confused in between. Just see the ball and jump.
I think what you said there was the key. I think two things what you've said. One is the enjoyment. I mean, for me,
Yeah,
there was no IPL, there was no T20 when I
yeah,
was playing cricket. So it was Test cricket in 50 overs. So 90 overs in a Test match per day. I was still running
go on.
after the ball at
Yeah.
the end of the. Then, if we were still in the field after 90 overs, I was still chasing the ball. So we
Mhm.
also, I was always in a position where I wanted the ball to come to me.
Yeah.
So the commentators would compliment my good anticipation. My
Mm.
reflexes weren't faster because then I would be a much better batsman and I would have
Mhm.
scored runs maybe like Brian Lara or Ricky Ponting possibly.
Mm.
I could have scored more runs if I had good reflexes. It wasn't that. Anticipation was I was expecting every ball to come to me
Yeah.
before it was hit. And that's also, and the last thing you finish with, every time you go for the ball. Because if you
Yeah.
think about diving, it's too late.
Too late.
So
Too
if
late.
you dive for the ball, my teammates, my South African teammates in the 90s say, Jonty, that's a TV dive. I say, what's a TV dive? So no, but you diving for the ball and there's no chance that you can catch it. Big Brian McMillan, he would sit there and go, come on, Joe. You're making the rest of us look bad because you diving and we're not. But it's a TV dive. Your arms are bleeding and everyone
Yeah.
thinks you're amazing, but you didn't stop the ball. So I said,
True.
well, at least I know I didn't stop the ball. Because the problem is if you stand there and you watch the ball and you think, maybe I could have stopped it. Or if you think about going to dive for it, then you fall down. And then
Yeah.
hard fields in India, if you fall on your knees, if you fall, whereas if you're diving, you're going at speed, you slide a bit. Yeah, it burns. It does burn.
Yeah.
But if you're falling, that's when you have, I think, more internal injuries, knees and elbows that
we
cause a
we
problem.
we
So,
all still knows about that run out you did to Inzimamul Haq, and we've seen a lot of good catches. The best thing about you, I've loved you every time you feel it. You every time you've gone with the two hands, whether you go on left, whether you go on right. When you go with the two hands, your reach became more. Then you're 100% sure where to fly and where to stop the ball. So I think that's the key I've felt to learn from you. So I think I've seen a lot of catches. Every time you're standing on 15 yards, Sachin used to say, "I don't want to take run from you. You can do so many damage to a batsman." So tell us
yeah,
something about that.
I think the key with being able to go with two hands, and and I've seen some of your catches are one-handed. Some of my catches happen to be
Yeah,
one-handed, and that's often if you're close and the ball has gone behind you,
yeah,
and you can't get both hands there. But I think my whole focus was to be as low as possible, and
yeah.
then go nice and low, which got me with both hands. The interesting thing is that we would often people would have an excuse, oh, my left hand side is my weak side. But actually, if you go with two hands,
Mm-hmm.
your right arm is my stronger arm, my
Mm-hmm.
right leg is my stronger leg. So
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to get to my weaker side with both hands because, in essence, the right hand's having to do more work to get across. The right leg is having to push me off. So I shouldn't have the excuse of saying, oh, it was to my left, so my weaker side. It's actually not really. And the key was the position, though, Suresh. If I was nice and low, I could dive with both hands because I was already in that position. And in South Africa, we would generally the ball would come between knee height and chest height. So
Mm-hmm.
reverse cup was a good technique. And to
Mm-hmm.
get there, you can't put your hands there reverse cup. You have
Yeah.
to take a step,
Take a step.
which
Yeah.
was which is what I try and do with practice when I get young kids, especially who, if I do any work in India or Nepal or Sri Lanka, Pakistan, if I do coaching in the subcontinent where the guys don't like to dive,
Mm-hmm.
you get them in a low position by saying, okay, practice now reverse cup because you have to be low to catch the
Yeah.
ball in reverse cup. And already you're halfway through the dive. So if
Yeah.
you're standing up here and you're
Yeah.
thinking, now I've got to
True.
dive, you
But when
don't
you're
go.
low,
But if you're
low,
low,
you can go. Yeah.
you go.
You can
You go
fly.
already. So 100%.
So we have a few more, like name your favorite world fielders and name your favorite Indian fielders as well.
Okay, world fielders. I love to watch AB de Villiers. If he's batting or in the
Definitely.
field, he's a very entertaining guy. I think Martin Guptill is a really
Mhm.
good fielder from New Zealand. Sir Jadu
Jaddu,
he's not
definitely.
bad, eh? Great
He's
fielder.
brilliant. He's
And
brilliant.
I keep saying, don't people mustn't throw like Jadu. Let him throw like that, but let's be more over the
Over up,
top. He's
over the
always
top.
throwing
Yeah.
sidearm, but he just
Okay.
doesn't seem to miss. So, and also, he's very different to you and I. He's a bit like a player, Michael Bevan from New Zealand, very
Hmm.
fast across the field. So you never saw him really dive or slide because he's got such good speed. He get to the ball. You and I were always to the dirty fielders. We were getting on
Hmm.
the ground and getting dirty and getting up
Hmm.
quickly, and someone like a Jadu or Michael Bevan, because their
Hmm.
speed is so incredible that you hardly see them diving unless it's a slide on the boundary. So Jadu these days, I mean, he's taken some fantastic catches,
Yeah.
in test matches, in
Yeah.
one days. So I think the key there is he's fully committed. I mean, he's got that big sword. He's a pretty brave guy. So
Brilliant.
when
And
he
he does a
when
lot of
he
ground covering when he does fielding in
yeah yeah
outside circle. He
yeah
covered a lot of grounds
yeah. Well, I
because
think the
his
key
arms.
there, and you spoke about it earlier, was about, you're looking for backup, you're looking for
Yeah.
work. So
Exactly.
being prepared for the ball to come. So too often when we react, when we see the ball
Hmm.
has been hit in our direction, or suddenly there's an overthrow, it's too late.
Yeah.
So I think from that point of view, what Jadu was so good at is that anticipation. So anybody who's expecting the ball to come to them, even if it doesn't look like, and if you think about Dulshan Scoop 10 years ago, now
Hmm.
suddenly everybody is playing every shot.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just, it doesn't just come to you here at backward point or at long on. It goes
Go
anywhere. So
anywhere.
every
Yeah.
fielder has to be prepared. So,
True.
I've always been a great fan of yours in the field because you remind me of me, and I wished I was
Thank
a
you.
young man like you. But and I know what it's like in India. I know how hard the fields
Yeah.
are. So I know if you're diving around all the time, then you are fully committed. So I've always been a big fan, and it's always been
Thank
on
you.
Twitter. I'm always saying things.
No, no,
So it's
you've
not.
been always
I'm not.
motivating me.
I'm not just saying it because we're here live
No,
together.
no,
But
I've been seeing that.
I've
I've
always
been
been a
seeing
big
that.
follower of yours.
And I heard a lot of good things about Rohit and Harbhajan Singh, about your practice session, about the way you
Ah,
have done so much miracles for the Mumbai Indians. I've seen Pollard taking brilliant catches, even Rohit Sharma when he dive in the slip and when he goes the covers. I still remember the catch he took in the covers in
yeah,
Bangalore,
yeah,
the
yeah,
one-handed.
yeah. One-handed. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
But excellent. Thank you. I think the key with that is especially someone like a Rohit or Pollard, those kind of guys who have Pollard, his fingers are always in trouble because he's always in the hot spots. His
Yeah.
fingers look a bit like always taped up. And, so I just make sure that I give him the practice that he wants. A lot more tennis ball, lots of boundary work. And then
Mm-hmm.
Rohit as well. It's 5 minutes. But I think, Suresh, the key with what I try and do, especially IPL, I mean, IPL, not this year, but it's usually in May, June. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
hottest time in India.
In
So you
true.
can't have a 45-minute fielding practice.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Sometimes we'll do a team drill, but usually it's me with two players.
Mm.
So short and it's sharp,
And
but
sharp. Yeah.
it's match
Exactly.
intensity.
That's
So
all you need to.
that was advice my father gave me when I was a youngster. He just said, Jonty, if you think practice makes perfect, that's only half the story. It's
Yeah.
perfect practice
Perfect
that makes
practice. Yeah.
perfect. So you got to practice like you're playing. So that's all I'm looking for. 5 to 10 minutes of practice, but high intensity. So I'm not going to hit the ball straight to the players. And also, I'm
Yeah.
not going to, if I'm hitting
The-
catches, Pollard,
It has to be match one.
even
It
with a
has to
tennis ball,
the
Pollard knows if I'm hitting him 5 catches and he's caught four, number 5 is coming like a rocket, man. Because I hate the players. I hate the players catching 5 out of 5 because then it's an insult to my tennis, and I think I'm quite
Yes.
a good tennis player. So
We would love to
I'm
have a
trying to hit the
session with
ball
you
faster.
soon. And a few more question. How who was the one batsman you knew you could not run out no matter what?
Well, I think I spoke about Michael Bevan, his speed across the ground when he was fielding. He was like lightning. He was a great finisher for Australia in the
Mm-hmm.
late 90s, because I think also his risk-free cricket. There wasn't power plays. So very similar to the job that I was doing for South Africa in the late 90s and early 2000. With that was, if you're a middle order batsman, you bat 5 or 6, you finish the game. So you would know what it's like in limited
Yeah.
overs cricket. If you get
True.
in 30s and 40s, it's not you. You're the guy that must take the team through. And the reason why that Bevan and myself were fairly successful was because we had good speed across the ground. So and Jad was the same. So if you
Yeah. True.
if you got good speed across the ground, you can take less risk because you can score 8 off and over just by hitting twos. Hit the ball in the
Yeah.
gap and run really quickly. So Michael Bevan, usually if you got the ball and you threw the stumps down, direct hit, most of the time, maybe 8 out of 10 times, the player was out.
Yeah.
But with Bevan, you would think he's out, but he's just got, he's got a good reach as well. But
Yeah.
he was
And
like lightning between the wickets.
I want to ask you, when you used to take 2 runs or third runs, you used to
Yeah.
not to do the bat in a different way, not to touch the line. You just go the
Mm.
slide and come back. Was the whole reason behind?
So I would actually try and almost swing my bat. So I wouldn't
Hmm.
touch the bat down because the problem I see with fielding is that when we're running between the
Hmm.
wickets, we
Hmm.
first we have a look where the fielder is.
Yeah.
So we take our eyes off the line.
Hmm.
So for me, if I want to run two every time, so I would
Hmm.
say, okay, I'm going to touch down first, and then
Hmm.
I'm going to look, because the players are still at either crease. So if I say no, then it's fine. But if I slow down to look at the fielder first and then touch the line, I lose 1 second. So
Yes.
that I turn and then I look.
Look.
So that was a key for me because I always thought there was 2 runs. So
Yes.
even if I hit the ball to third man, and plus if he sees me running fast, he knows, oh, I mustn't.
He
Jonty
has to
wants to
run
come
fast.
back. You put him under pressure.
Yeah.
If it's too easy, then they're not going to fumble. But if you put the fielders under pressure, then they fumble. Then you come back.
I
But the
I wish.
turn's
Yeah.
important.
I wish you could have run with MS Dhoni or Virat Kohli.
Now
They
they
are
are
quick.
quick, man. They really are fast. I mean, MSD was even now at the end of his career. I mean, whenever the end of his career is, that power in his legs. Those pads go everywhere, but
He's strong.
and that's a key though, is the turn.
Yeah.
And I think
Strong.
that's a difference. I was never. There might have been faster guys over 100 meters than me, but
Mhm.
over 5 to 10 meters, and the turning, and that's also because we played so many different other sports in South Africa. So a
Yeah.
football player, a hockey player, also a tennis player. So all those different skills really helped me as a cricket player in my fielding, and then also running between the wickets.
And who's your favorite Bollywood actor?
Ah,
Any
I
Bollywood
don't have.
actor? Any
No, I
Bollywood
don't.
dialogue? Any movies you've seen over the
Gully
years?
Gully Boy. No,
Gully,
Gully Boy. I love. Well, I think the
Gully
key
was
for
a
me is
good
that
movie.
I keep seeing. You watch some Bollywood and then suddenly everyone starts dancing and singing. I think,
Yeah.
how can these guys? Because I watched Mulka Singh run that Mulka Singh movie
Milka
with
Singh movie, yes.
yeah, with Harbhajan. But it started
Brilliant
at
movie.
10:30 at night. So interval was I think about midnight. No, there was no subtitles, so just Hindi. And then also these guys were all dancing, and I'm thinking, come on, man, why is everybody dancing and singing? But with Gully Boy, music was a part of the movie. So
Exactly.
I think that's why, I actually watched it on the airplane, and I've watched it again since then. And I keep the soundtrack in my phones when I'm
Yeah.
exercising. It's a really cool
Good,
soundtrack.
good
So
song. Yeah.
Gully Boy's been my favorite and only Bollywood
Bollywood.
Bollywood movie.
You've been traveling a lot of places. What sort of a food do you like in India? You like
It
dhaba
depends.
style, or you
I
prefer
No,
the
the dabba
hygiene
style. I
food?
mean, if I go on the bike, we sit and we'll eat dabba style, no
Wow.
problem whatsoever. Thali, so veg,
Wow.
non-veg.
Hmm.
Also depends if we're going south, north. Rajasthan, I love mutton. So lal mas for me is
Lal mas. Amazing.
I love it. If I come south, if I spend more time in Mumbai, then I eat more vegetarian.
Yes.
Palak paneer, I can eat that all day, every day. So
Wow.
it does depend on where I am. And then I've also been snowboarding in Kashmir, in Gulmarg.
Kashmir.
And
Wow.
there we had a Vasvan. So that was,
Wajwan,
very much
my favorite.
mutton.
Tabak
Yeah.
mas, Wajwan, Rista,
So
man.
so exactly. So depending on which state I'm in, I like to eat what the locals are eating. So I don't have one particular favorite. But paratha for me is it's death. I love it too much, especially when we come play in Chennai or
Chennai.
yeah, that,
You should
yeah, that
try the
makes
parathas in north side. When you come to Delhi or when you go to
okay.
Rishikesh, they have the biggest paratha you'll ever have, stuffed with
Mm.
potatoes or whatever, like
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
paneer. It's so much.
yeah. No, that does me. I have far too many parathas.
So I have one more question again. How much have fitness levels changed since you were playing till now? I think you have already answered that.
Yeah, no, tremendously. And it's
Mm.
interesting because when you work at IPL, most of the teams will have an overseas and a local fitness trainer. And the big concern, I mean, even at state level, you'll have fitness trainers now. And I think the key though is that being fit is not just about going to the gym. I think yoga for me has been amazing. I never did yoga while I played. I was always,
Srishan say
yeah.
you're the fittest till now, and he said you can still play, you can still make anyone run out from the point.
No.
He wanted to
Yeah,
ask you
maybe
one question.
maybe I can run out. Yeah, yeah. What? Yeah, maybe I can
Uh,
still run out, but not between the wickets like I used to. Maybe one or two, but not a three. No
One
more
of three.
threes. No,
And
no more threes.
who's the fittest cricketer around the world? Do you reckon who is around the world? You have seen
Yeah, I
so
think
many of them.
the interesting thing is that I've and having watched the IPL, there's different players with different requirements. So if you're a fast bowler, if you're a batsman, you've got different physical requirements. But
Hmm.
I think the one thing about the physical issues is what if you speak about somebody's fitness. I think there's two things that I look at: is that how often do they get injured, and then does their fitness level allow them to go above and beyond their
Hmm.
cricketing in their cricketing performances. So, and I think, obviously someone like a Steve Smith stands out, but he doesn't look like the fittest kind of guy. But you see, if I see Virat Kohli, I mean,
Hmm.
in this instance is where you've seen his transformation.
Yeah, yeah.
You've seen him as a chubby youngster, India
Hmm.
under 19 captain,
Hmm.
and him making that realization that if he is going to be consistently at the top of his game, he needs
Yeah.
to change his whole outlook on fitness. And it's not just about the gym;
So
it's what you eat, what you put into you. I think that's a
exactly.
key for me. Is
That's the
that
key.
I
True.
have an Ayurvedic doctor in Mumbai, and he
Hmm.
assisted with our last birth of our boy
Wow.
Nathan in 2017, and he's always just saying, Jonty, what you take in is so the health of your gut is, and especially now with this COVID-19, everyone's saying, well, we need to boost our immunity, and for
Hmm.
me, it's like practicing like it's a match situation. You can't
Yeah.
suddenly get sick and think, let me
True.
go to the doctor, let me take
Yeah.
a tablet, and that'll fix me.
True.
What is my foundation like? What is my system like? And I think, if you watch someone like a Virat Kohli and you see the fitness levels, and you can tell, I mean, you can see from what he was like as a youngster to what he's doing now,
Hmm.
and how he just keeps scoring runs and runs and runs and runs and plays a lot of cricket without much injury. So, I think fitness is not something where you can run all day.
Yeah.
There's the guys who can do that, but it doesn't help their game. But I think if you look at somebody's fitness levels and you translate that into them being the best player that they can be, I'd have to say Virat Kohli is right up there right now
Definitely. The
in
best
the
thing
world.
about Virat, I've seen him in one days and 2020. When he finished, whenever he scored 100 or when we bat first or bat second, he will come the first one to do the catching for the one
Yeah,
or two just to go
yeah,
through, hit few balls at the stump. So every time he enjoys, I think that's the quality of him because every game he wants to win. At the
yeah,
same time, MS Dhoni also same. Whenever he is very in a calm way, he comes,
yeah,
see what's happening. Do every time we go to the field, we have to catch the ball first, take the field. Especially with the new ball when you go for the field,
yeah, yeah,
especially the slip catches. Whenever I want, every time I want a new ball for the slip catches, and Fleming or Hussey, they always make sure I'm doing it right because you
yeah,
need to do catches with the new ball. That's I felt
yeah.
it has to get into your finger.
It's like it's a match situation. So I mean, I
Sorry.
I think that's the key. If you're practicing and you're practicing with an old ball that's comfortable, you
Yeah.
come to the game and hit your fingers. Suddenly, it doesn't feel the same. So that practicing like it's a match situation is so important. It really is. So it's good to see. And I mean, I can understand. I know why you're successful. You go. If you don't go,
Yeah.
you'll never know. But you also
Exactly.
you're practicing
Yeah.
like because you can't turn on your A game
Uh,
when the game starts.
the
Your
game will
A game
start.
has to be on the whole
Be
time,
on the whole time. True.
whole time. Because you got to practice like it's a game. So I think that's very important.
And how the situation in South Africa? COVID-19, everything is good because things are pretty good right now.
Well, I
In
think
there.
it's in South Africa. We unfortunately, India. There's been a slowdown of
John,
economic growth, but slow down to yeah. Still there.
Brian Lara is asking something about you.
Okay.
He said, I didn't see, he's gone. Sorry, continue, please.
No, it's okay. So apparently he's just had his birthday, hasn't he? He had his
Yes, he had a
birthday
good time.
just
Yeah.
last week.
And he talked about
Yeah.
the paratha we were talking
Lockdown
about. He
birthday.
said, I put on weight. I said, I didn't put on weight. I'm looking good.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so South Africa, we had an economic slowdown before COVID. So that's the big concern, is that how do you weigh up people's lives and safety of the population, and then also the real issues that we'll have with the economy if we don't
Yeah,
restart the economy quickly, but in a obviously in a safe environment. We're going to create a lot more poverty, and there was already 30% unemployment in South Africa, and they're saying
yeah,
over 1 million jobs already lost. So the situation. Everybody, the cases have been controlled very well. So when we heard about the first case in South Africa, they locked down. The government totally locked down, a bit like India. We shut
hmm,
down. We've been down like you guys over 50 days now.
yes,
So
yes.
it's
It's been
obviously in
challenging now,
areas
as
where
it,
there's
yeah,
a high concentration of people.
yeah, yeah.
But
It's been
so,
challenging
so
now
our
because
problem is
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, please. Because as a sports person, we go through a lot of emotion. We go through with a lot of mind planning and everything. Because you do fitness, you do look after your diet, but at the same time, you need to train your brain when you look after the situation, what's happening. But I think yoga does make a lot of difference. Like your wife has been brilliant with that. She does a lot of good yoga with the facilities around the world. So I think it's good to see when the yoga comes and you do a lot of Surya Namaskar. It gives you a lot of strengthening. It gives a lot of agility. At the same time, it gives you the immense belief. Then you can really feel your breath. So that's the most important thing. So that's what I've been doing since lockdown. So it's giving me a lot of relaxing mind.
I think, Suresh, I think what is key is that, what yoga teaches you, it teaches you how everything is connected.
Yeah.
So it's not just, that's why for me, I'm not a big player or not a big gym going person. I
Mm,
do work out if I'm in India,
mm,
and I do less yoga, but because the team is in the gym, so I sit with the guys, I'll watch them in the gym. But the rest of the time, I'm either in the ocean, which not during lockdown, but surfing is such good exercise.
yeah.
I've
I wish we could do that in India.
so if you come to Mahabs, Kovalong Point, we're just down the road from,
We'll do it.
if IPL happens with Chennai, you come
Definitely.
again.
Definitely. Would
Murli
love to.
Vijay's Murli
Murli
Vijay's
Vijay.
been down there. Yeah, I've hosted him there.
He's
But
he does a
the
lot of good
key,
exercise also. Yes,
yeah, yeah,
Murli
yeah.
Vijay.
I,
He's a top
I
man.
think the key with the yoga, what it also teaches you is that every day is different, because some days you feel strong on the mat, the next day not so strong. But what we're going through now is very similar to cricket too, with this COVID-19, with the pandemic, is that we
Yeah.
have to focus. I mean, this has been 50 days. It's a long time to be locked down. We
Mm.
really have to focus on the things that we can control. Because like a cricket
Yeah.
player, you can't control how the wicket's going to play. You can't
Exactly.
control the opposition, the bowlers or the batsmen.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
also you can't control the umpire. Sometimes, okay, now
Yeah.
with DRS,
Yeah.
DRS, you might be lucky you get a referral. But as a cricket player, there's so many things that you can't control, that you have to focus on what you can control, and
Mm.
then you work 100% at those. So it's easy to make excuses about the wickets weren't good, or the net preparation. The net bowlers were 12-year-olds and they all were
Mm.
just throwing spin. So you say, well, how did you practice in those conditions? Did you practice 100% on the things that you can control? And
Yeah.
I think that's what also, again, what yoga has showed us, was that, as I said, the important that everything is connected.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that you focus through your breathing on what you can control. And it's made a
And
massive
I'm
difference in
loving
this
your
lockdown.
fitness video also. You've done something. So that's brilliant to do something in my home. I've been watching that and looking after
Oh,
my glutes, the back. It's
yeah.
it's pretty good.
Great.
So you have special connection with India and even named your daughter India. I think you already answered. So one more thing about in your playing days, I always wanted to know why you always stood close to the wicket, like 15
Mm,
yards. You
mm.
always there to maybe the position you wanted to catch the ball from the down, because some of the cricketers they played really hard cut, especially Sachin to Inzibhai, or I would say the Azharuddin and
Yeah,
your few of the others, the Brian Lara, like with the
yeah.
back lift,
Great cut. Steve Waugh is a
Steve
really
Waugh,
good
yeah,
cutter of the ball.
even
And
David Martin,
yeah, yeah, good
Mark Waugh,
square,
yeah.
very good square of the wicket. So I think the key with me, Suresh, was that because we didn't have fielding coaches, so
Hmm.
my fielding was a makeup of, as a tennis player.
Yeah.
So we talk about the split jump. So split jump allows me to go to backhand, forehand as a tennis player when I'm returning serve. But as a football player and as a hockey player, I was the goal scorer, so center forward. So I would always play against goalkeepers. And the
Yes.
goalkeepers, if I had the ball on the stick and I was coming into the circle, the goalkeeper comes towards me. Same thing in football. If I come into the box with the ball at my feet, the goalkeeper comes. Because if he stands on his line, he can't reach the corner. It's too far.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if he comes down and cuts the
Mhm.
angle. But also, just remember, I mean, there was no power play at the front. So the top order in 50 over cricket, the batsmen, the same test batsmen were playing 50 overs. So they would lay, they would look for
Yeah.
ones, look for twos,
Yeah.
ones and twos for the first 10 overs until Sanat Jayasuriya and Kalu
Yeah.
came and they
Kalu.
smashed the ball.
Kalu.
But up until then, most guys were, drop and run, drop and run. So I was getting in. So cutting the angle down for me. But again, it meant that the ball was coming faster. So I had to be prepared before the ball was hit. And that was the difference. So by cutting down the angle, if you are Sachin, they could also see me. So they would think, oh, Jonty's there. But shouldn't we go? No, okay, let's rather not go. Whereas
Because
if
when they
I'm
used
further
to
back,
drop the ball, I remember used to pick it from the small square. Used to always throw at the stump. So batsman
yeah,
knew
yeah,
if I run, I will be gone.
yeah. Yeah, danger end is both ends.
Yes.
So, but I think the key with that was you got to watch the bat because that's where the ball is coming from. But I was also watching the body language of the player. So if he's looking to defend, I was coming already. So by the time he's taken his first step, I'm already taken 3 steps because I've seen him defend. So I'm coming forward. If I see him look for the square cut, then I'm ready to catch the ball. So looking at the batsman, being prepared before the ball is hit, that was always the key. And the reason why I came in was to cut that angle down because otherwise, if I saw myself basically as a goalkeeper. So 5 meters, so 2.5 meters either side, that was my goal, was to save the ball. If it was a catch, if there was a run out, that was bonus. But my job, save the ball from
Yeah.
going in the goal.
Yeah.
So the closer I could get, I could cut the angle down, but it also did mean that the ball came,
But
especially for the
yeah.
guys who were good square, it did come harder. So I had to be ready before the ball was played. But that was the main reason is that, but like I said, there was no power play. So players weren't looking to go up and over. They were just looking
Yeah.
to get the ball off
Yeah.
the square. And if there was a bad ball, which we had a few fast bowlers who would bowl short and wide, so yeah, you'd have to catch
You
a few
take it.
sharp deliveries. But other than that, always people looking for ones. So I was coming in to save the single.
So I wanted to ask you, a lot of fan requests are coming. If you want to answer a few of them, and I was thinking we can call one person for the
Okay.
same. I just choose one. Wait,
How do we
let
do
me
that?
see.
You can do that.
Because I'm the anchor, brother.
You can do anything. Yay.
No, no. I'm just saying
I'm an
it's
old
like
man.
can. No, no, no. You're not old. I'm also new to this. I've just want to see how can we do it. Can't see. It's not there, I guess.
Do you invite somebody?
No, we can, but we need to see if someone is sending the request. So it's not coming, I guess. They're just saying hello. Can't see anything. Leave it. Hi,
Okay.
world too. What you been doing? Everything is good. Would love to have you in India very soon. And like I said in the afternoon, we would love to see you in India. We do a lot of things. So it was very nice talking to you. We had a lot of
Thank you,
fun.
brother. Thank
I
you.
wanted to just one Hindi song, just 2 line or
Nay,
something. Just
nay.
and
No.
last no
Yeah.
and one question, one last one.
Yes.
If you want to see one wicket keeper who can do the best fielding in all over the world, from your days, from our days, who can do the best fielding,
With his gloves
any
on or in the
without the
field?
gloves, because nowadays we they
Okay.
do play with the
Yeah, yeah. I think AB de Villiers has been
yeah,
I've been a big fan of AB de Villiers, but he just does some incredible things. So he was not always a wicket
the
keeper. He
Scotland, yeah,
was, in fact, I was very sad when he became wicket keeper because then I didn't have him in the field.
yes,
About much. So So for me, he's just he's such a great all-rounder. And you know, I know MS Dhoni's had an incredible career, and he gets a lot of guys out.
Yes. No,
He's way
AB
too sharp.
is very,
He's
very
way too
sharp.
sharp. But AB as a fielder, you know, he
Number
does
one.
some incredible things, man. He moves so well. He's
And he
got a
works
great
really hard.
arm.
I've seen
Yeah,
him in the
yeah, yeah,
field before the match,
yeah,
and
yeah,
every time he just come hit few shot.
yeah,
Then fielding, he just put everything in. So that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
best thing about him. Whenever I've seen him during IPL, whenever we played against him, even the Jack Callis also, I saw him when
Yeah.
taking a lot of catches, slip catches, long time back
Yeah.
when we went to Indian team with the 2006.
Okay.
So pretty good.
No, I think South Africans have always had a very good work ethic,
Hmm.
and but again, I mean, the important thing there is that it's not just practicing hard; it's also practicing smart. You
So
know,
why
because
guys who have always the best all rounders?
uh, we had three at once. You know, Sean Pollock, Lance Klusener, Jacques Ellis,
Jack
but
Callis.
no, not as many now. But I mean, you're South
No,
African. You grow up.
yeah. I played with LB Mokel. He was brilliant. He
Okay,
was
yeah,
a
yeah,
game changer
yeah, yeah.
for us.
Good player,
Then we played
fantastic.
with one more. Uh, no, LB Mokel. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say Imran Tahir.
he
Not
he
all
plays. He
rounder, eh?
does. No,
Not an all rounder.
Is he?
No.
No.
Can't bat.
Good man. Good
Great guy,
man.
but can't bat, right?
Can't man. But he wants to take
No.
bat from everyone.
Oh, really?
He after the bowling, he just go check the bats
Oh, yeah.
from each
For
and
me,
every
yeah.
batsman.
I think he does some good work in South Africa. I think he's got some good charities and clubs
Yeah.
that he gives. It's not for himself. I don't think he
Yes.
ever
Yes.
uses them.
But I'm so amazed to see at age of 40, he does each and everything so professionally, eat
Yeah,
nicely, and train very, very hard. And all thanks
yeah,
to Greg King. He's a trainer from South Africa. He trains with
yeah,
us and makes sure everyone is light. Because last time when we came back after 2 years, everyone was talking about we are old, we are this and that. But
yeah, yeah.
we felt
Amazing.
like a team,
A young team, eh?
a
Yeah.
young team with a lot of
Uh,
kids around.
but maybe you guys were a happy team and you were very
Happy
relaxed with
team.
your families,
Yes,
and
exactly.
you put in the work, and that's always required, you know. And sometimes it's this here
Hmm.
that is the difference between winning and losing a game. So
Exactly.
if you're a settled player because your family is with you and it's a good group within the team, then that often is, it's not just the talented players, which you guys certainly have, but it's that combination of all of that is often the difference. So well done.
Thank you so much, brother. So good to
Pleasure,
speak to
Suresh. So
you.
good to see you, man.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
super soon.
We will
Take care.
definitely.
Give my love to
Stay
your
safe.
family. You too,
Thank
brother.
you.
Take care. See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.